Hey y'all, I know it's been quite a while, close to, let's see, 8, 9 months since I've made a video. And I know that I just recently uploaded my most recent video to YouTube. So I apologize, it's been a little hectic and a little insane. Actually, the last video that I made, which of course was the green spaghetti, was literally the weekend that I got COVID. So it's been a little insane. So I apologize. It's been quite a while of neglect to my YouTube channel, and I have a video that I have been too lazy to edit. So, and it's from the Thermometer that I made in November. So Lord willing, I will be getting on that and getting that edited very soon, and hopefully up. Today I am in the process of making mushroom quesadillas. So definitely this is a recipe I got from my sister-in-law, but it is a favorite. Literally, I had a former neighbor that came over to my house shortly after I moved in, and this was the dish that he asked for. So yeah, and of course, as is implied, mushroom quesadillas. First thing is mushroom. Now granted, I just brought these in from outside because I learned that if you take mushrooms and leave them for a couple of hours in the sun, then they can soak up that vitamin D that of course is natural. And of course, when is that not going to be good for you? Now, I'm going to just take these. I will show you momentarily. I would have put these back into my refrigerator, but because of time, obviously, I'm just going to take them. I'm coarsely dicing them up. I will show you as soon as I've got them diced. I will show you, because also they will start to shrink as they cook. So I'm not super worried. I am using a large knife, not necessarily because I need anything super sharp, but because of the amount of stuff that it can cut at one time. I'm in a time crunch a little bit, so, and I'm trying to get as much of the juice that would come off of these mushrooms so that I can get it into the water. I'm gonna want it. So, before, back when I was with the ex, I would usually just take these. I knew nothing about putting them in sunlight, so I would just take them straight from the refrigerator and put them into the pan, and then they would let go of some of the liquid, which I was unaware that they really had any liquid until I started cooking them, and that was shortly after I got married. And so it does not need to be any kind of even cutting. It just coarse. You get it and you get done. And if you see any large pieces that you don't like how large they are once they're in the pan, cut them with your spatula or with your spoon or whatever that you're using to start up. Okay, now I'm going to angle this down so that you can see it. Alright, it's just very coarsely cut up. There's some pieces like this. I will get this cut up with the spatula or whatever, spoon or whatever you want to call it. In general, in the kitchen, most cooking utensils is called a cuchara in Spanish. So it's just whatever cooking utensil you've got. So I'm going to take that, dump that into there. My sister-in-law would use like a big, huge old spoonful of that country crock, I guess you could call it margarine, imitation butter, things like that, but she would use that. I prefer to use butter because ever since I got away from the ex, I'm trying to do as many things naturally as I can, and of course margarine is not natural. So yeah, and granted, a lot of people will say, but butter this and butter that, but you know what? God gave us butter for a reason. So I'm going to make large chunks, cuts, or whatever you want to call it, of onion. I will show that to you momentarily. I'm kind of on a little bit of a time crunch, so you'll have to forgive me if this is a little rushed. If you need to go back and rewind or anything like that, feel free, because, you know, you can watch it as many times if it's on YouTube as you need to if you want to make this. And if you love mushrooms, this is a definite, oh gracious, I have not made this in a good long time, and honestly, I don't know why. Because it is delicious. It is, the ex definitely loved it when I made this, and, you know, this is not about him. This is about the fact that it's good food, you know? Hey. Okay, let me see if I can't make this. Okay, as you can see, I've got, it's probably about the size, maybe, of course, that's several little pieces of onion, you know, the layers in one. But you want it to be larger chunks of onion that you're going to have in there. Okay? Now, of course, mushroom does need to be the star of the dish, so you don't want to have too much of everything else. But at the same time, you still do want to have a decent amount of onion and green pepper, but green pepper will go in there momentarily. I'm not going to worry about it at this moment. I'm probably just about finished with all the onion that I'm going to cut, and I will get this going, and I will show you what I'm talking about in just a second. And of course, obviously, this is on the stove. I'm going to turn it on and put it up to about medium high. In the meantime, I'm going to start getting my green pepper diced up, because you want it also in large sections, large pieces. I wouldn't say diced coarsely, but definitely diced large chunks. Okay, that's probably the best way that I can tell you. And I'm going to go ahead, get this rinsed off. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have my green pepper. It has been washed and obviously opened up. So for obvious reasons, you don't want to have the seeds in there, so you're going to want to take out any and all seeds. I don't know what it is about pepper seeds, but they just do not cook well. So I will show you really quickly. Let me bring this over here. I'm gonna pause it so that you don't get motion sickness. All right, I will do this just as calmly as I can so that I don't have it moving everywhere. But as you can see, there's that butter. All right, let me see if I can't get a little closer. There we go. We got that butter. And then we've got that onion in there. It's going to be a good ratio. You don't want it to be too much onion, but yet at the same time, that is a good ratio there. And it's starting to let out. It's got that butter there. It's letting out some of the juices of the mushroom. So, okay. Now that mushroom is starting to have some of the juices and everything like that, and the butter is melted, so therefore I want to get some bouillon in there. I used to use bouillon cubes. I also in the past have used that Better Than bouillon. This is homemade bouillon. You can use whatever that works, so long as it works for you. And I'm just going to use that, just a teeny little bit more. There we go. Because with the moisture that is generated by the mushrooms and the onions and the butter, it's gonna dissolve right on in there, and that's what you want all over everywhere. Okay, if you use a bouillon cube, you definitely want to get it in there, put it wherever that there's liquid, so that it's gonna help it dissolve that, because you don't want chunks of bouillon. That's not cool. We all know that. So now I'm going to be finishing up getting my bell pepper cut up. Same with the large chunks. Alright, I'll be right back. Now as you can see, it's still it's boiling. It's still got plenty of liquid in there. We want it to start to dry up. And before we start to do anything else with it, I'm trying not to give y'all motion sickness with this stuff. So in the meantime, we're going to let it keep on drying. We want it to dry as much up as is possible, but of course those mushrooms, they let off actually quite a bit of liquid, which if you have not cooked with mushrooms before, it might be surprising, but they do. I was surprised the first time that I made these, but they let off a lot of liquid, and you want it to mostly dry up. Most everything that you put in here is going to have somewhat of a liquid that's going to come out of it. And so you're going to have to let that liquid dry up before you start to do anything else. And as soon as it looks like it's pretty well dried up, we're going to be adding in these coarsely chopped, large chopped green pepper. You can see that green pepper. I don't have huge hands by any stretch, but it's a good size of the last part of my thumb, okay? If you have big hands, I wouldn't do it the size of your thumb because, you know, you want something that's going to be edible. You don't want it to be a whole huge bite of green pepper, but at the same time, you want something that's generally larger. Now, you can also use, if you like the spice, I have definitely used jalapenos in this. You can use jalapenos or serrano peppers if you like a little extra heat. That's plenty fine because they generally have mostly the same flavor, just obviously one has a bigger kick than the other. Right now I'm using green pepper because I'm going to be serving these for the first time for my kids. The other time when we had company over, it was somebody else that was going to be eating. I made a different red spaghetti, which I know that I have that recipe on my YouTube channel. And of course they and the kids that came over, they enjoyed that. And the mushroom quesadillas were for the adults. But at the same time, this is the first time that I'm serving this to my kids, and they are not lovers of much heat. I'm going to be working on that, Lord willing. But anyways, so I can tell that this, the liquid is starting to dry up. It's not quite there, but it's getting real close. So pretty soon I'm going to be adding this in, and then the green pepper itself is going to start to let off a little bit of liquid, okay? And so I'm going to want to let that liquid dry up, and then I'll add in some more ingredients. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking. So anyways, so therefore we're going to do this, getting this going. And right now I'm getting ready to start making the tortillas while I'm at this, so that I can have everything done as quickly as possible all at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the video off so that I can get busy on this, especially since this is still needing some time to dry up. So I will be back in a minute. Okay, it looks like it has pretty well dried. Let me see if I can't angle this down without making anybody seasick. Alright, that's pretty much, that's done. That's ready for that green pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Alright, and like I said, that's going to let off its own liquid a little bit. So I will show that to you momentarily, because of course obviously you're going to want to get that stirred up in there and let it start to let off some of its liquid. It is not going to let off as much liquid as the mushrooms did. I can promise you that. So it's not going to take that long for it to dry up. So you're going to want to have your next ingredients ready to go pretty quickly. So my next ingredients are going to be frozen corn, which I'm going to grab that out the freezer. And then as soon as that's ready, I'm going to add in the spinach, which is generally fresh spinach. Typically for a pot this size, which of course, let me see if I can't angle this down again. This is a large frying pan, okay? Like, that's my hand. Like I said, it's a small hand, but still, here we go. And and I've got probably a pound and change of mushrooms in there, plus the onion, plus the green pepper now. So I'm getting ready to get the corn, and then we're going to add in, I typically add in about 5 ounces of fresh spinach. So I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, it's pretty much already dried up because it did not let off that much liquid, okay? So it is already ready. I'm not going to say, I have here, this is, oh shoot, I already cut out how much it is. It is 12 ounces of frozen corn. I just want it to look proportional. I'm not gonna say how much because I have never ever used measurements in this. I think my sister-in-law one time told me about how much that she did, but it was of course depending on how much mushroom that I was doing. So I'm going to show you how it looks in just a minute. It looked like it needed just a teeny little bit more. It's not huge, which is kind of funny because it's going to have corn tortillas, so you're getting plenty of corn. And I know that God gave us all things to richly enjoy, so I'm not going to feel bad about the fact that corn has got carbs and all that kind of stuff, and here I am diabetic, whatever. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It looks like I said, you want it to be proportional, and that's probably about as good as I can tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. But considering that it was frozen corn, you're going to want it to melt and to heat up. And then after that, you'll be ready to get your spinach in there. Okay, so now you can see it's pretty much, there's not really any extra liquid there. I'm doing this as gently as I can so that I'm not having everything going everywhere. You can see there might be a little bit of liquid, and I will tell you too from personal experience that once this gets done and you're ready to put it into the quesadillas, it's going to have even more liquid that it's going to let off. So I will just let you know that. If you have extra liquid and freak out about it, don't. It's okay. Just use a slotted spoon when you're getting ready to put this stuff into the quesadillas, and it's not a big deal. Alright, so let me see if I can't turn this again. Alright, I'm going to turn this towards here. Trying to get it at a teeny little bit of an angle without... Okay, now you can see, hopefully without getting any motion sickness, I'm just dumping it all in. There we go. What? Okay. Alright, here we go. And this is the first time that I'm going to add the lid because I want that spinach to wilt. And that's that. Also, when you put in that spinach, you want to add in, it's called epazote. I don't know of any stores other than your Mexican stores around here. I don't know about anywhere else. Probably where you have a larger Hispanic population, you will probably maybe have more of the Mexican food ingredients in your regular grocery stores, but around here, of course, you don't. So I'm going to use, generally, I do not want these sticks. I don't want these in there, okay? I'm mostly trying to get the leaves, okay? So if you get them, try to take your sticks out. And if you have sticks with leaves on them, try to get the leaves off while you're, and then put those in there, okay? Like this, you want it off, like that. Alright, I'm about to have to turn that down in a second because I'm not using it right now. But you want to have it up until you can smell the epazote. You can smell it while it's in the package. And then you want that aroma to come at you a little bit from your quesadillas, okay? So, trying to get this without having the sticks go all in there, which is all sorts of fun, I'm sure. But this within itself is going to, putting it in there is going to kind of rehydrate some of that herb. It's an herb. It has a scent similar to mint, but it does not have the exact same flavor. Okay, so it's going to be, you're going to want to have that in there. I'm going to keep stirring it up in just a minute, and then I will smell if I can smell it, and that's probably about the only way that I can tell you that I know how to do it. There we go with that. It's just about there. Okay. Okay, let me get that stirred up. Because you're going to want that spinach to wilt down and to kind of incorporate, okay? Okay, I think that you might be able to see it a little bit from there. It looks beautiful. It really, truly does. So, and I will tell you, if you go to look for epazote in a Mexican store, you want the leaves, the packages that have the fewest amount of sticks, okay? They're all going to have a lot of sticks, but the one that has the fewest amount, that's the one that you're going to want, okay? So that way you get a whole lot more of the product that you can use. Look at that, just like that, okay? And then I got one little stick right there, and let's see, teeny little bit right there. Woo! A little bit hot, but that's still a little bit of a leaf, so I'm going to leave that like that. Okay. Oh yeah, I can smell it now. Okay. Alright, so that can get turned off. And whatever else that it needs to cook, it can cook with the heat that it already has. I'm about to cover it up. I'm going to get the tortillas done and make them into quesadillas, and then we're ready to eat. So yummy-licious. Woo! Okay. Okay, I'm going to tell you real quick. I'm about to make the tortillas, which of course, like I said, I'm making the quesadillas. And if you need any help to find out how to make tortillas, I have videos below. It's probably below because it's the first videos on my channel. And since my channel is not that big, it's going to be easy to find. So I have to be able to make tortillas. Then I have the next video after that, I believe, is to make quesadillas. And then that will be easy. And I will be back to just kind of throw it all together, and that will be that. But everything's done on my end. So most of it in general, except for putting the quesadillas together and being able to see how it looks all together. So I hope that you have enjoyed my video, and if you like my videos, feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel if you have not yet, and I hope you have a delicious day. Okay, so as you can see, I do already have one that I got ready. These two were just getting onto the griddle as I got them done, as I got that one off the griddle. So I've got these. I'm putting them on this plate. I will show that to you momentarily. It's smoking a little bit because I had the oil on there. And so I've got them on my plate, and then just as easy as that, I'm going to open up the quesadilla, which of course I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that with your bare hands. I usually don't, but I need it for the video at the moment. So, and it's very hot, I will let you know that. So anyways, I'm going to just take it straight from there, just dump it in there, make it look filled up. Obviously, depending on how much that you want in there, fill it up, don't fill it up. They can become a teeny little bit like sloppy joes and have stuff coming out. So if you want to scoop it up off the plate with a fork or a spoon later, that's also good. So I'm going to do the other one, and then it's going to be time to chow. Alright. Alrighty. And I apologize because of the thing. I just realized I can turn that off. Huh. Okay. Okay. There we go. Let's see. Here we got mushroom quesadillas ready to go. And definitely I will see you next video.